Let me go ahead and get started. Hold on, let me see if I can make sure everything's good here. Okay. So as we mentioned, we're going to be talking about the field test procedures for the different backflow prevention assemblies. And a lot of you know that when we talk about the assemblies, we're talking about these 4 assemblies that require field testing. They include the double check, the DC, the pressure vacuum breaker, which is the PVB, the reduced pressure principle, which is the RP, and the spill resistant pressure vacuum breaker, which is the SVB. So we're going to go over each of these, go through the procedures, get a better understanding for the procedures on testing these assemblies. As we mentioned, also talk about the diagnostics for it. So some of the situations you may come across as you're testing these backflow prevention assemblies. Again, this is a 2-hour webinar, so this is not a tester course. So you'll get a taste of things. If you really want to know all the details about the testing, the procedures, the hydraulics, the scenarios, what's actually happening, and so forth, I would suggest you take a tester course. If you look throughout the country, there are quite a number of training providers that do train to the 10th edition procedure. So again, just go to the website and you can find those training providers that are out there. Okay. One of the things that you're going to see in regards to any of the assemblies is that there are some steps that are common to all the assemblies. And you'll see that we're going to talk about these three items, the preliminary steps, the flushing of the test cocks and our vent valve, and also the bleeding of the field test kit. When it comes to the preliminary steps, I know a lot of you are familiar with them. We're talking about these 4 preliminary steps, the notify, identify, inspect, and observe. Some of you call them the NEO steps, those kinds of things. But even though they seem simple, I mean, just reading them out loud, realize that they are an important part of the field test procedure. You realize when you're testing out there that making sure that you conduct these preliminary steps before you actually start working on the assembly is very important. It'll give you a better feel for what's going on, better understanding, contacting everybody, and so forth. So it is important that you do these preliminary steps. All the way from starting out with notifying. Okay, make sure that you do notify the authorities that you are going to be testing the backflow prevention assembly. Part of that reason is realize that depending on where this assembly is located, this assembly could be at the service connection. So if you're going to be testing this assembly, you're going to be shutting down the water to the whole facility. So you have to make sure that you do notify all the appropriate authorities in regards to the shutdown to test this backflow prevention assembly. Because we all know, when you talk about facility, it could be like a manufacturing plant. You could see a lot of pumps, a lot of things that could be running. And if there's no water going to them, you can burn out some of the equipment, some of the pumps and so forth. So it is important that you notify, you do the notification. The other thing you may see is maybe the backflow prevention assembly is not at the service connection, but it may be at the point of use. Maybe to the makeup line to a boiler, a makeup line to a cooling tower. So even at that, notifying that you're going to be shutting the water down to that piece of equipment is important to make sure that the owners or the maintenance personnel that's there understand that you are going to be shutting the water down to that piece of equipment. The other reason we say this is, realize that sometimes when you notify, it may be multiple entities that you may have to be notifying of the shutdown. So realize that, depending on where you're testing it, and what the water's feeding to, there may be multiple agencies you may need to be contacting. So for example, a lot of you are familiar with this, on a fire sprinkler system, you may have a backflow prevention assembly that's there. We always tell testers, realize that on those type of situations, you may have tamper switches, alarms, and so forth. So not only you may have to notify the owner, but you may also have to notify other agencies, like for example, the fire alarm company, fire department. So we always say, hey, when it comes to notification, make sure you notify all the appropriate authorities. And sometimes that may be more than one, okay? So I guess it is an important step to do, okay? The other one is the identify. Make sure that you identify the assembly you are supposed to be testing. You may come across a situation like this, where all of a sudden you go into a facility and you realize, oh, wait, I'm supposed to test one of these. But I noticed that, there are multiple assemblies, same make, model, and size. One of the things that is needed in regards to situations like this is a unique identifier. Sometimes you may come across where there may be labeling for each of these assemblies, so you know which business it goes to, so you can understand which of the assemblies you need to test. Or sometimes it's as simple as just a serial number. Each assembly will have a unique serial number, so making sure that even though all these assemblies have the same make, model, and size, they do have a unique serial number that you can identify the assembly that you need to work on. Okay. A lot of times part of that identification is through the test form that you're using. So a lot of times you as a tester maybe are filling out the test form. So you put down the manufacturer, model, size, and serial number. Depending on the administrative authority, the water agency that you're working with, sometimes the test forms already have that information pre-printed. So